The gala lights glinted off my champagne glass, reflecting the stage where Aria Lennox just snagged her Best Actress award. 5 years. 5 years since she'd abandoned me to a brutal online mob, letting them tear me apart, all to protect her precious white knight. Now she was a starlet and I was Gideon Rhodes, the money man, holding all the power. She drifted towards me, a practiced vulnerability in her eyes as she lifted her drink. About what happened back then. I'm sorry. I just smiled a cool, indifferent curve of my lips and didn't bother to reply. My phone buzzed, a welcome distraction. It was Eleonora, my girlfriend. I hit speaker. Through the earpiece, Eleonora's voice, soft and a little wary, flowed into the stunned silence between us. Darling, has my sister been causing you trouble again? I'll call her right back. Aria's face went from pale to ghostly white in an instant. Her own sister? The realization hit her like a physical blow. The color drained completely from her cheeks, her lips parted slightly, unable to form words. Her fingers clenched around the wine glass, knuckles stark white, veins standing out on the back of her hand. Sis, she whispered, the word barely audible, laced with disbelief. Eleonora's gentle laugh echoed through the line, her voice still warm, even through the static. Darling, ignore her. I'll handle it. I gave a casual hum of acknowledgement, then ended the call. My smile hadn't faltered for a second, and I hadn't spared Aria another glance. Sliding my phone back into my pocket, I turned to head back to my seat. But Aria moved faster, blocking my path. Her eyes were wide with shock, and something else. A flicker of panic I couldn't quite decipher. Gideon, when did you and her start? Her voice was a strained whisper, thick with accusation. Finally, I met her gaze. 5 years. She was even more dazzling now, draped in a custom gown, her hair perfectly styled, a designer watch gleaming on her wrist. And me? I wasn't that broken boy anymore, hiding in a dingy rental, sobbing until I couldn't breathe, wearing faded T-shirts. Ms. Lennox, I began, my tone chillingly distant. Are we close enough to discuss my private life? My words hit her hard, her face darkening further. Camera flashes punctuated the air, and a ripple of whispers spread through the crowd. The new Best Actress clashing with the biggest investor in the room. Pure gold for the gossip columns. Aria took a shaky breath, trying to regain her composure. Gideon, let's talk? No need, I cut her off directly. Just 5 minutes, please? Her voice was almost a plea. About what happened back then, I had reasons. I raised a brow, a hint of something sharp in my eyes. Your reasons. Were they about protecting Makoto Ito? Or about securing your Best Actress award tonight? My words were low, deliberate, each syllable a precise jab. Aria's entire body went rigid. 5 years ago, Aria and I were just a couple of film students, ordinary and inseparable. She had talent, ambition. I'd trek with her to auditions, organize her materials, use every penny from my part-time jobs to buy her decent clothes. Then, a big-shot director noticed her. She landed a role in an indie art film and exploded onto the scene. And with that came the rumors. Her and Makoto Ito, her co-star. Fans dug up my existence, a torrent of vile insults flooding my social media. They said I wasn't good enough, that I was dragging her down. Someone even photoshopped my obituary and mailed it to the school. I hope in our cramped rental, nights blurred by insomnia. I'd call Aria, sobbing, begging her, please, just explain to your fans, tell them we're a normal couple, okay? The silence on the other end stretched, heavy and long. Gideon, just wait. My career's taking off, I can't afford any negative press. Makoto's family has connections, I can't cross them. The word "fiangsome" landed on Aria like a physical blow. She staggered back a step, the light in her eyes extinguished completely. Eleonora ignored her, guiding me back to our seats in the front row. Did she upset you? She whispered, leaning into me. I rested my head on her shoulder, shaking it. My heart was calm. That monstrous wave that once threatened to drown me now felt like nothing more than a stagnant puddle. After the gala, Eleonora's driver took us home. The car was quiet, her hand gently stroking mine, a soothing rhythm. Gideon, if you don't want to, we won't attend any events where she might be. I don't want you to feel any distress. I looked at her, lost in thought. This woman, always putting my feelings first. Our meeting had been pure chance. I was at my worst, my father worried sick, sending me to a sanatorium abroad. Eleonora was one of its owners. She was gentle, patient, a ray of sunshine slowly piercing through my darkness. She'd walk with me in the gardens, listen to my painful past, then hold me gently and whisper, "It's all over now." She pulled me from the abyss. I squeezed her hand in return. I'm okay, really. She's just an irrelevant ex-girlfriend, not worth any more of my emotion. I thought the awards ceremony drama would be the end of it. But the next day, Aria, through a mutual contact, sent a script to my office. It was a project Stellar Entertainment was backing, and I was the head. My assistant's expression was a little odd when he placed the script on my desk. Mr. Rhodes, this is from Aria Lennox's studio. She's hoping to land the lead role. I flipped through it. A strong female lead, a character defined by deep affection, enduring sacrifice for love. It was practically tailor-made for her image rehabilitation. A cold smirk touched my lips. I tossed the script into the waste bin. Tell them we've already cast the role. My assistant nodded. Understood. Less than half an hour later, a knock at my door. My assistant again. Mr. Rhodes, Ms. Lennox is at the front desk. She insists on seeing you. I rubbed my temples, let her in. Minutes later, Aria walked into my office. She'd shed the glamorous gown for a simple white blouse and black trousers, looking somewhat haggard. She began, her voice hoarse. Miss Lennox, state your business, I said, leaning back in my chair, my tone utterly detached. My formal address seemed to sting her, and she paused. The script, did you read it? I don't think you're suitable, I interrupted. Ms. Lennox's acting simply isn't strong enough for this character. That's just plain rude, I thought, watching Aria Lennox's face flush crimson. To have your acting skill questioned point blank by an investor, especially as a rising starlet, that's a wound to the ego, a deep, stinging insult. Her voice cut through the air, bristling with indignation. Gideon Rhodes, do you have to be this way? I know I wronged you back then, but I had no choice. Must you drag personal feelings into professional matters? Her brazenness actually made me chuckle, a bitter, humorless sound. Personal feelings. Mr. Lennox, perhaps you've forgotten, but I'm not just an investor. I'm also your sister's fiancé. Do you honestly think I'd allow an actress who once coveted and harassed me to work under my fiancé's nose? Or are you hoping your sister lives in constant fear of her own dear little sister, trying to steal her man? My words hit her like a volley of knives, each one piercing her robust nerves. Aria instinctively snapped back, I didn't. Whether you did or didn't is something you know best. I reached for the internal phone, my voice steady. Security, please escort Ms. Lennox out. Later that evening, Eleonora Lennox arrived to pick me up. She spotted the discarded script in my office waste bin, retrieving it with a knowing glance. She came to see you. Yeah. Eleonora's expression darkened. She pulled out her phone and dialed a number without hesitation. Dad, keep your younger daughter in line. If she bothers Gideon again, I can't guarantee what I'll do. A muffled voice from the other end. Eleonora snorted a sharp, cold sound. She brought this upon herself. If you two had reined her in back then, she wouldn't have gone down this path. With that, she hung up, the click of the phone echoing in the quiet office. It was the first time I'd seen Eleonora so furious. She walked over, enveloping me in a hug from behind. I'm sorry, the Lennox family failed to raise her properly. You shouldn't have to deal with this. I turned, gently patting her back. It's not your fault. How can it not be my fault? She murmured, then leaned down to press a soft kiss to my forehead. Your business is my business, Gideon. She then told me a story, one I already knew but felt again in the telling. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lennox, had always showered their younger daughter, Aria, with affection, believing her to be the family's pride and joy, a prodigy in the making. Eleonora the elder was largely ignored. When Aria got into trouble back then, their first thought wasn't about her wrongdoing, but how to suppress the scandal and protect her budding career. They even wanted me to step forward and clarify things, to claim you were unilaterally harassing Aria. Eleonora's voice was calm as she recounted this, yet I could sense the simmering rage beneath her composed facade. I refused. And then my father kicked me out of the house. After that, Eleonora left the country, building her own company from the ground up, never looking back at that cold, unwelcoming home. Not until she met me. Gideon, come home with me this weekend. She looked at me, her eyes earnest and searching. To meet my grandfather. The Lennox patriarch is the only one who ever truly cared for me. I want to tell him I've found the man I want to spend my life with. I nodded, a sense of belonging blooming in my chest. Okay. Aria Lennox, after being thrown out of my company, stayed quiet for 2 days. But her silence was merely a prelude. Soon enough, she launched her next move. Her social media posts started hinting at something, laced with veiled meanings. One day, an old photo from film school, captioned irretrievable old times. The next, a link to a melancholic love song, with the caption, some people, once missed, are gone forever. Her fans and the ever-eager marketing accounts immediately picked up the scent. Aria Lennox still loves him. Aria Lennox deep affection. The Aria Lennox unforgettable first love. These hashtags flooded the trending topics. The comment section overflowed with sympathy for her. Sister is too devoted. How could that man be so cruel to her? 5 years and she still can't let go. She must love him to her very core. What a clueless man. He doesn't deserve our sister's deep affection. I stared at those comments, a bitter irony twisting in my gut. 5 years ago, these very same people had cursed me with the vilest words. Now, they'd flipped, showering sympathy on the one who started it all. The internet might have no memory, but the victims do. My assistant was seething. This is absolute slander? Mr. Rhodes, should we release a statement? No need, I said, closing the page. She's just a clown, let her jump. The more she makes a spectacle of herself, the more it proves she's run out of options. An actress of her caliber? resorting to dredging up old gossip for attention is a tragedy in itself. I expected her to play her little game for a few days, then back off when she got no reaction. But she proved to be far more desperate than I'd imagined. A week later, Aria Lennox appeared on Spotlight, one of the country's most popular talk shows. During the show, the host brought up her love life. She initially feigned modesty, trying to evade the question. But under the host's persistent prodding, she reluctantly began to speak. She wove a tale, a story of dreams, love, and cruel reality. It featured a talented but impoverished young woman and a boy who stood by her during her struggles. After finding fame, the girl became dazzled by the glittering world of celebrity, made mistakes, and hurt the boy. By the time she came to her senses, he was gone. All these years, I've been searching for him, just to tell him I'm sorry. Aria's voice broke, tears welling in her eyes as she reached the emotional peak of her story. If I could do it all over again, I'd give up everything, just to have him back by my side. She spoke with such sincerity, such heartfelt emotion, that even the host was moved to tears. After the show aired, public opinion exploded. The entire internet was awash with sympathy for Aria Lennox's deep affection. She was transformed into a lovesick, repentant figure. And I, as the unnamed boy in her story, became the object of both pity and envy. That boy is so lucky to be cherished by actress Aria like that. Come back, don't make our sister wait any longer. If I were that boy, I'd forgive her by now. Who hasn't made mistakes when they were young? I sat on the living room sofa, my face expressionless, watching that duplicitous face on the TV screen. Eleonora emerged from the kitchen, a mug of warm milk in her hand. She switched off the television. Don't watch it, it's not good for your eyes. She sat beside me, drawing me into her embrace. Gideon, let me handle this. I shook my head, sitting up from her hug, my gaze firm. No, this time, I want to rip off her mask with my own hands. Seeing Eleonora's worried eyes, I picked up my phone and dialed my assistant. Contact the producer of Spotlight for me. Tell them Gideon Rhodes from Stellar Entertainment would like to appear as a guest on their next episode, to chat with the audience. Chat about what? My assistant's voice on the other end was already tinged with excitement. I looked at Aria Lennox's deeply sentimental face on the TV screen, a cold sneer twisting my lips. To chat about how a boy, after 5 years of cyberbullying and suffering from severe depression, clawed his way back from hell, step by agonizing step. And while we're at it, let's also show everyone the truly hypocritical face hidden beneath certain people's mask of deep affection. A few seconds of silence stretched on my end, then my assistant's voice, barely containing his excitement, came through. Understood, Mr. Rhodes. I'll get on it immediately. After hanging up, Eleonora still looked at me with concern. Gideon, are you sure about this? Stepping into the public eye means reopening your wounds, facing all those rumors again. I took her hand, offering her a reassuring smile. Eleonora, before I had no choice but to hide. But it's different now. I have you, I have my own career. I'm no longer that little boy who can be bullied at will. Some debts always need to be repaid. A scar is a scar because it never truly healed. The best way to heal it isn't to cover it up, but to let the sunlight in, to let the pus drain clean. Eleonora watched me for a long moment, then finally nodded. Okay, whatever you do, I'll support you. Stellar Entertainment's PR team and my legal department, they're all at your disposal. She paused, then added, I'll go with you too. Spotlight proved remarkably efficient. Upon hearing I wanted to be on the show, the producer agreed almost instantly, scheduling my episode as a special and airing it during prime time on the weekend. After all, the new starlet's mysterious ex-boyfriend, wealthy hair's future son-in-law, and domineering CEO. These tags combined were a guaranteed ratings hit. Before the recording, Eleonora leveraged every resource to help me gather evidence. The cyberbullying posts from 5 years ago, the doctored images, the malicious private messages, all were meticulously compiled. My medical records from the overseas sanatorium and the psychologist's diagnostic reports were also collected. When Eleonora's assistant handed me the thick stack of documents, his hands trembled slightly. Mr. Rhodes, are you really gonna release all of this? He seemed to fear it would cause me secondary trauma. I took the files calmly. The more detailed, the better. To utterly crush Aria Lennox, we need to present the most damning evidence, leaving her no chance of recovery. Eleonora, ever the protective one, personally brought her team to go over the process and script with me. Don't be nervous. Just talk like we usually do. I'll be right here. No one can hurt you. She stood in the control room, watching me through the glass, her eyes firm and gentle. I took a deep breath and smiled at her, a quiet strength settling within me. I knew I wasn't fighting alone. The day of the show, I arrived in simple casual wear. Stepping into the studio, a hush fell over the audience for a beat. My identity and appearance, I figured, starkly contrasted with their imagined, wronged ex-boyfriend. The host, a seasoned and intelligent woman, had had a flicker of surprise, almost admiration, in her eyes when she saw me. The opening of the show was smooth. She chatted with me about my work and Stellar Entertainment's future plans. My answers flowed, calm and collected. The live comments reflected the positive vibe. Aria Lennox's ex is actually this amazing, handsome and capable. That aura, that way he talks absolutely captivating. He even seems like a good match for Aria Lennox. Wonder why they broke up. With enough groundwork laid, the host finally steered the conversation to the real topic, Mr. Rhodes. We all know Ms. Aria Lennox was on our show last week. She mentioned an unforgettable man. Could you tell us, was that man you? I met the camera's gaze, a candid nod, my only reply, it was me. The entire studio erupted in whispers and gasps. Just then, the side door of the studio swung open. Aria Lennox emerged, clutching a huge bouquet of roses, her face a practiced mix of surprise and remorse, as if my presence was a complete shock. Gideon, it's really you. The host? A perfect accomplice? Feigned astonishment, my goodness. Ms. Lennox, what a surprise! I heard Gideon was coming today. I just wanted to apologize to him face to face, Aria said, walking towards me, extending the fiery red roses. Gideon, please, forgive me. What a meticulously staged performance of deep affection, regretful pursuit. The live audience was moved, some even starting to applaud. The comment section exploded, get back together? I approve this marriage. Aria Lennox is so brave. What kind of divine drama is this? I stared at that familiar face, my stomach churning with pure disgust. I didn't take the roses. My gaze locked with hers, a slow smile spreading across my lips. Ms. Lennox, what new act are you putting on now? Was last week's solo performance not captivating enough, so you decided to add a co-star today to snag another trending topic? My words hung in the air, instantly silencing the studio. Aria's expression froze. The host looked flustered, quickly trying to smooth things over. Mr. Rhodes, you're just joking. Ms. Lennox truly cares for you. Does she? I turned my gaze to the host, my eyes calm, devoid of any emotion. Then I must ask, does true care mean letting your boyfriend be cyberbullied by fans, having his photos photoshopped into obituaries, being driven to depression and forced to drop out, all while you do nothing? The moment my voice faded, the massive screen behind me sprang to life, displaying the evidence I'd prepared. Screenshot after screenshot of vile insults. My emaciated, hollow-eyed photos from back then, medical diagnosis from the sanatorium, a horrifying visual assault. A collective gasp swept through the audience. The live comments froze for a second, then scrolled even faster, more frenzied than before. Holy hell. Is this real? That's beyond cruel. P-ing obituaries. This isn't just cyberbullying, it's a crime. Oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. How desperate must he have been? Aria Lennox's fans are terrifying. What kind of cult is this? Aria Lennox's face turned ashen. She tried to rush forward to stop it but was restrained by staff. No, it's not like that. Her words tumbled out, incoherent. I didn't know. I truly didn't know things would get so serious. Didn't know. I scoffed, a cold edge to my voice. Ms. Lennox, have you forgotten? How many times did I call you, send you messages, beg you to clear my name? And how did you reply? My voice hardened, each word a hammer blow. You said your career was in its rising phase, couldn't risk negative news. You said Makoto Ito had a powerful background. You couldn't afford to offend him. You told me to wait. I took a breath, the memory a bitter taste. I waited. And what did I get? Escalating malice, sleepless nights, haunted by the nightmares of what I endured. I rose, walking towards her step by painful step, meeting her panicked gaze head on. Aria Lennox, tell me, in your heart, were your interests truly more important than my life? She was struck dumb, her lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. The big screen continued to play the evidence. Among them was a phone recording between us, something I'd instinctively saved in my darkest despair. In that recording, my voice was a raw, desperate sob. Aria Lennox, save me, I can't take it anymore. Her voice, though, was chillingly detached, laced with annoyance. Or Gideon Rhodes, can you not be so childish? Don't make things more complicated for me. The evidence was irrefutable. Aria Lennox's sincere lover, persona shattered completely in that moment. The light in her eyes flickered and died, leaving only the hollow despair of utter defeat. She knew it. She was finished. The live stream comments had shifted from sympathy to an overwhelming deluge of curses. A scumbag. World-class scumbag. Disgusting, using someone else's pain to good your image. How can anyone be this vile? Get out of the entertainment industry? Aria Lennox, get out! The host was stunned, clearly not expecting things to escalate this far. In the control room, the show's producer was pacing frantically. This wasn't just a broadcast error, it was a live scandal. I turned to face the camera, my voice clear and firm. Stand here today, not to garner sympathy, nor to seek revenge. My gaze swept across the lens. Simply want to tell all the boys who have gone through similar experiences when facing harm. We should not remain silent, nor should we doubt ourselves. A pause. We are never the ones at fault. We are wonderful, we deserve to be loved, and we have the right to live in the light. With that, I bowed deeply to the camera. Then, amidst the complex gaze of the entire audience, I turned and walked off the stage, one step at a time. The control room door burst open. Eleonora Lennox hurried towards me. She slipped her jacket over my shoulders, pulling me into a tight embrace. "It's all over?" she whispered into my ear. "Wes?" I murmured, burying my face in her warmth. "It's all over." I thought that would be the end of it. Aria Lennox disgraced, facing the punishment she deserved, my name cleared, ready to start a new life. But I never imagined that within the truth I'd just revealed, an even dirtier secret lay hidden. The day after the show aired, Eleonora's assistant brought me a new file. "Mr. Rhodes, this is what the boss asked me to investigate, regarding why Aria Lennox was so protective of Makoto Ito back then." I opened the folder. Inside wasn't the emotional entanglement I'd anticipated, but a stack of far more disturbing items. Several photos and a USB drive. The photos showed Aria Lennox in her university days, arguing with a middle-aged woman outside a hotel. The USB contained a video showing a middle-aged man aggressively harassing a young girl, while Aria Lennox watched with cold indifference. Documents detailed Aria's manipulated grades in a comparison of her thesis to an unpublished paper, showing a staggering 90% similarity. That senior classmate, I learned, had died in an accidental car crash not long after graduation. Everything pointed to a horrifying truth. Makoto Ito's father, a vice dean at the film academy, was the middle-aged man in the photos. He used his position to help Aria alter grades, resolve plagiarism, and even secure her first film role. The price: Aria was to introduce pretty, innocent female classmates to him. The girl in the video was a junior from my department. Makoto Ito held all the evidence of his father's filthy dealings. Aria Lennox wasn't protecting Makoto Ito. She was protecting herself, her glamorous grassroots identity. My hands trembled, clutching the documents. I had always believed Aria Lennox was merely selfish and weak, but I never imagined her humanity could stoop to such depravity. She hadn't just made mistakes, she had committed crimes. I anonymously sent the complete dossier to several of the most reputable media outlets and disciplinary departments. 3 days later, the news broke in a torrent. Actress Aria Lennox accused of academic misconduct, a film academy vestee and sexual bribery, Aria Lennox pimping allegations. Each headline alone was enough to ensure her complete ruin. The police quickly launched an investigation. Makoto Ito's father was placed under official investigation, and Aria Lennox, as a key person of interest, was taken in by the police. Her endorsements vanished. Every brand dropped her like a hot potato. Her upcoming shows pulled. Even her awards were snatched back. Overnight, Aria Lennox plummeted from grace, straight into the mud. Mr. Lennox's face went white with rage. He pointed a trembling finger at me, his voice a low growl. "Gideon Rhodes, don't you dare push your luck? The Lennox family isn't to be trifled with." "Oh, really?" I smiled, a dark satisfaction curling inside me. "Then I guess we'll see each other in court. Let's find out whose connections are stronger, the Lennox family's, or the nation's laws." They spluttered, words failing them, and were eventually escorted out by security, their faces etched with humiliation. Once they were gone, Eleonora arrived. She stepped in, her first words an apology. "I'm so sorry. They bothered you again." I shook my head. "It has nothing to do with you. They called me." She continued, a faint trace of self-mockery in her tone. "They wanted me to persuade you. They said if you just let Aria off the hook, they'd finally agree to us being together." I froze. "What did you tell them?" Eleonora walked up to me, cupped my face in her hands, her eyes searching mine with intense seriousness. "My marriage is my decision. And whatever Gideon Rhodes wants to do, I support it. If the Lennox family wants to disown me for it, then so be it." I looked into her eyes, my own stinging with unsheathed tears, at this woman. Aria Lennox's case made massive waves. In the end, she was sentenced to 8 years in prison for multiple crimes. Makoto Ito's father got 15. I went to the sentencing. Aria, in her drab prison uniform, looked skeletal, utterly devoid of her former swagger. From the defendant's box, her eyes found mine in the gallery. Her gaze was complex. But I didn't care anymore what lurked behind it. As I was leaving the courthouse, her parents ambushed me at the entrance. Mrs. Lennox lunged, hand raised to strike, but Eleonora snatched her wrist in a vice grip. "You curse? You bang, it's you! You ruined my daughter!" she shrieked, raving like a madwoman. Mr. Lennox glared at me, his face twisted with venom. Eleonora shielded me, her expression colder than ice. "I warned you to. Stay away from him. Aria Lennox is where she is today because of your endless spoiling and indulgence. It has nothing to do with anyone else. If you ever dare lay another finger on him, I won't hesitate to let Lennox Group taste what it feels like to fall from grace." Eleonora's voice hadn't been loud, but it carried an undeniable, chilling authority. Mr. Lennox's face instantly crumpled. He knew Eleonora meant every word. He grabbed Mrs. Lennox, who was still flailing, and they slunk away, defeated and pathetic. The farce was finally over. The drive home was silent, peaceful. The last rays of sunset poured through the window, warming my face. Eleonora squeezed my hand gently. "It's all over now." I turned to her. Her profile, bathed in the fading light, looked impossibly soft. Eleonora, thank you. My voice was thick. Thank you for pulling me from my darkest moment. Thank you for giving me all your support and courage when I decided to fight back. Thank you for making me believe in love again. She just smiled, freeing a hand to gently ruffle my hair. Silly, why are you thanking me? We're engaged, aren't we? I looked at her gentle smile and found myself smiling too. Yes, we were engaged. People meant to spend a lifetime together. After the dust settled on Aria Lennox's affair, our lives returned to a quiet normalcy. Eleonora officially severed ties with the Lennox family, then, with ruthless precision, acquired several of Lennox Group's most crucial subsidiaries, completely sidelining her father's authority. The Lennox family, truly, was dismantled. And my decisiveness and courage during this whole ordeal made my name legendary in the investment world. Many called me ruthless, a man not to be crossed. I didn't care. This world is always harsh on the kind-hearted. I just learned to protect myself and those I loved, my own way. That autumn, Eleonora took me to Switzerland. We rented a house with a garden in a small town at the foot of the Alps. By day, we strolled by the lake, skied in the mountains. By night, we'd cozy up on the rug by the fireplace, sipping mulled wine and watching old movies. No work worries, no echoes of the past, just the two of us, and the serene, snowy landscape outside. One evening, after a film, Eleonora suddenly hugged me from behind. Resting her chin on my shoulder, her voice low and tender, Gideon, let's get married. I froze, then turned my head. From somewhere she produced a velvet box, opening it before me. A simply designed diamond ring, sparkling brilliantly in the firelight. No Western engagement rock, just a simple, elegant band. But engraved on the inside were tiny words, my God, my sunshine. My tears burst forth, an uncontrollable, messy flood. Eleonora looked a little flustered, gently wiping my tears. What's wrong? Don't you like it? Or, don't you want to marry me? I shook my head, still crying, and then buried myself in her embrace, holding her tight. Yes, Eleonora, yes, I will. She finally breathed a sigh of relief, a soft laugh escaping her lips, as she slipped the ring onto my ring finger. A perfect fit. She leaned down, kissing my eyes, then my nose, and finally my lips. A tender, lingering kiss. Outside, the snow began to fall again, soft and endless. In the fireplace, the fire blazed. I knew the winter in my life was truly over. And this woman before me, she was my spring. She had healed all my wounds, given me a new life. I once thought I'd live forever in the shadows, never seeing the sun again. But now, I not only had my sunshine, I had the entire spring. The ugly past, the pain, they were just stepping stones now, lifting me higher, letting me see further. And making me cherish the person right in front of me even more. Eleonora held me close, whispering in my ear, Gideon, from now on, I'm your family. I closed my eyes, nodding peacefully in her arms. Yes, family. We would have a home full of love and warmth.